welcome to Stacking the Shelves for the last, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 weeks, something like that. I think I did one of these at the beginning of June, and this will probably post mid to late July. So, I got books. I was gonna count ahead of time, but I forgot. So for review books, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 review books. I bought one book, so it'd be 8. I did get an audiobook, 9, and then I did get a book from Kindle Unlimited, so 10 books total. I'm just going to start going through them. Some of these I've read already, some of them I haven't. The first one that I got for review is Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinneman. This does come out late August. I got an eGalley through NetGalley to review. This is supposed to be like a post-apocalyptic world where people compete in dungeon sort of crawl things to survive. I don't know. That's kind of what I got from it. The next book I got to review is The Darkness Within Us, which is a follow-up book to The Shadows Between Us by Tricia Levenseller. This comes out, well, it'll probably be out by the time this video posts, but mid-July. It is kind of a fantasy romance intrigue. I did enjoy the first book in this series. It was about two people who were kind of morally gray, who were kind of using each other to make progress, and then they started to fall in love. So it was kind of like a fantasy romance, frenemies and meets the lovers thing, but with a lot of court intrigue. This is the follow-up book to that, so looking forward to that. There is another book I got for review but on audiobook, and that is The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. This is already out, or it will be by the time this video posts. It publishes July 9th. I'm listening to this right now and really enjoying it. This is kind of more in the cozy fantasy genre. It's about a woman who flees a burning library in the city. She's a librarian. She's had a very sheltered life. She kind of lived in the library, literally. And she flees back to her home island and finds out that some really bad magic storms and stuff have been happening on the island. And she decides to start kind of using magic to help the people on the island, on her home island. And it seems like there might be a little bit of romance in there. Not quite sure yet, but there has been a lot of magic and it has been very well done. The next book I got for review is also on audiobook, and that is The Stardust Grail by Yumi Kidasai. I don't know how to say that. This is already out. It came out June 11th. This is a sci-fi kind of adventure, space travel type of thing. I really enjoyed this. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It was just very fun. Lots of interesting alien races and worlds and adventure, and just really well done characters, and I really enjoyed it. All right, the next book I got for review comes out in October. It publishes October 1st. It's quite a while, and that is The House at Watch Hill by Karen Marie Morning. This is the first book in the Watch Hill trilogy. Sorry. This sounds like a paranormal book about a woman who inherits a mysterious house, and she goes there and weird things are happening. I have not read a Carrie Marie Morning book since her Fever series, and I didn't finish that because I started kind of sick of it. But I am looking forward to seeing what she's writing next, because I did like the first few books in that paranormal series. It just got kind of weird. All right, so then the next book for review I also have finished reading. That is Sanctuary by Alona Andrews. This is a spin-off series in the Kate Daniels world called The Roman Chronicles, and it's about one of the humans that belongs to an evil Russian death god. I read this. I didn't like it. I usually like everything they write, but I did not like this. This comes out July 30th, so it comes out pretty soon. It felt really like fan fiction to me, not very professionally written, and it was kind of like one big battle followed by another big battle, and in between that it was like a textbook on Russian mythology. There were so many terms, and you were talked out about Russian mythology so much. I really didn't like it. On top of it, it's been a really long time since I've read the Kate Daniels series, and so I couldn't even remember how Roman related to everything in that series. My husband has read more recently, so I was asking him who is this guy? What did he do? Blah blah blah. I don't know. I wasn't a big fan, and I'm kind of sad I wasn't a big fan because I was really looking forward to it. But I will be posting my review on that shortly. And then the last book I got for review is The 13th Child by Erin A. Craig. This comes out September 24th. I have not read this yet. This is described as a fairy tale about a woman who's an amazing healer, but her healing powers come with a steep cost. She can see when people are going to die. I'm very much looking forward to this because I have like the other Craig books I have read. So those are all the books I got for review. I did buy one book, and that is volume 33 in the Black Butler manga series by Yana Toboso. I really like the series. At some point when it ends, will reread the whole thing. But this is kind of a paranormal historical fantasy about a boy named CL who has a demon protector who is also a very good butler. So it's very funny, very beautifully drawn, and really have enjoyed the whole series. I did borrow one audiobook from the library, and that was Chlorine by Jade Song. This one is weird, but I kind of enjoyed it. It's about a girl who gets into competitive swimming, and she starts, and her coach is fairly abusive, and a lot of people are also abusive to her. She goes through a lot as far as how her body is being judged and how hard she's being pushed, and she kind of decides she's a mermaid at some point. Kind of has a mental mental collapse maybe, or mental break, and it is about that. The story actually changes point of view between her point of view and one of her best friends, and they kind of potentially have a thing going on, but they never really act on it, and it goes back and forth, and you kind of find out, like, both from her internal point of view how things are going, and from an external point of view what her friend is seeing. It was weird, but I really did think it was really unique, and I enjoyed it. It's marketed as like a horror, and I would see it more as like a book about coming of age and trying to accept yourself and push back against all this abuse. And I would say that, like, what she's talking about, the kind of things she's doing, like, you work until you can't work anymore, is very much an attitude of the generation I grew up in, like the the 80s, 90s, the whole work until you break kind of thing. I think things have gotten a little bit better, at least for what I have seen with my son in sports. Like, sometimes it's kind of bad, but mostly people are a lot better about those kind of things. So it was interesting to read a book about that. And then the last book I borrowed from Kindle Unlimited, and that is the 5th book in the Guild Codex Warped series by Annette Marie and Rob Jacobson, and that is Mage Assassins and Other Misfits. I have not been as big of a fan of this spin-off series for the Guild Codex as the other ones that were written solely by Annette Marie. I was going to read this because it's the final book in the series, and found out then it is not the final book. They decided to extend the series to 6 books. I will go ahead and read it. They're okay. They're just not my favorite. I find the whole like warping thing that the main character Kit can do is just, it's tough to wrap your head around, and the parameters around that magic are just tough. They're just tough, right? If you're talking about somebody who can warp reality, like, you need to put bounds on that, and they don't do a very good job of that. And so it's always confusing to me, like, why he can do certain things and not other things, and that just really bothers me. So anyways, but I will continue to read the 5th and probably the 6th book, just because I'd like to wrap up the series, and things that happen in this spin-off series affects things that happen in other spin-off series in the overall world. So, like, I like to have a complete picture. All right, so those are all the books that I got in the last, at this point, I think it was 4 weeks since I put the last posting out, but by the time this posts, it'll probably be 5 or 6 weeks. I did more of a life update in my best books of May and June, so I'm not going to do that here. If you got any great books that you'd like to share, I would, comment down below. I always like to hear about new books people are getting. And I, again, apologize. My posting has been really sporadic, and, that's just how it's going to be for the next year or two, with trying to renovate this house in Duluth and work full time, and my son getting ready to go to college or apply to colleges, and then going to college, and then trying to sell our current house, and all of that's going to happen in the next year and a half. Things are just going to be really, really frantic for a while. So, anyways, it was great talking to you all, and I hope that you have a great week of reading ahead of you, and I will talk to you later. Bye.